Atlas in the hot seat tonight.
And Atlas.
Goes by the name of Atlas the Bookkeeper. How you feeling, my friend?
Let's do this. Let's get this out of the way so we can move on to better stuff because I want to react to a bunch of game trailers. All right. So here's the deal. All right. As you know, last month, all right, I did a big, co-reacting the Review Tech USA documentary by June the King along with the guys from Kino Casino. It was pretty darn epic. And if you missed it, it's in its entirety on my DSP Reacts channel. And also I even took highlights out of it there as well. All right. It was the big epic moment where I felted Rich and I got his last chip and I still have it right here. Right. It was a pretty awesome moment. And people are remembering this as one of the momentous things that happened here this year. Well, after that, basically I did an interview, Keemstar, and he's like, what you should do is you should have these people who have gripes with you or you have gripes with as part of your content right away, Stuttering Craig and Review Tech USA, and get it done with, that would be good content. Everyone wants to see it. So I said, you know what, let's do it. So I reached out to Craig and we had our interview. And of course we had a big disagreement or whatever, but who cares? Now that's at least done, right? Like we're not going to have interactions anymore. We're done with each other. That's it. We move on, right? But Review Tech basically completely ignored me for a very long time. I'm not even kidding you. For over a month, I basically had messaged him. Oh, I'm sorry, Dark Ethan. I will shut that out in a moment. I did miss your super chat. Basically, I private messaged him on Twitter, and I asked him about appearing on the show, saying now is the time to do this. Let's hash it out. Let's find out what your actual problem with me supposedly is after all these years of you harassing me and shit. Now everyone wants you on my show rather than me coming on yours, so let's make this happen. And he ghosted me for about a month. Like, he wouldn't respond at all, okay? Then, and I haven't told you guys this, he started acting really bizarre. Like, he started tweeting me weird. He tweeted me a picture of LTG. I'm serious. Not tweeted me. He DM'd me. Excuse me. He DM'd me a picture of LTG. And I DM'd him back, and I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? Yeah, I'm already, like clowning on this guy on the internet because he doesn't know how to do business. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. Then he sent me a picture of like a guy, like an old man being startled by like a parrot. And I was like, I really don't know what the hell this means, Rich. And then I realized, I was like, he's just high. Like, he's just high as shit all the time now. And he just does stupid shit because he's high as fuck all the time. Right? So I gave up. I was basically like, at this point, I don't give a crap. Like, I just don't see the point in me doing anything with this guy because I don't think anything's going to come of it. I think that he's literally just high all the time. His streams, everyone says the only reason people attend his streams is to fucking make fun of him because he's a train wreck now. It's not like people are attending his streams because they like him and like the content. They're only attending because they want to basically, razz the guy and fucking troll him. And that's sad because this is a guy who has 1 million subs on YouTube and used to have a giant following and a lot of people who liked him and a successful business, and he himself tanked it. He tanked his own business. It's pretty pathetic. Now, hold on. Thank you, Dark Ethan, for a $15 Canadian super chat. I believe that would be probably more than Cabal. I know that Canadian dollars aren't as much as US dollars, but I'm not going to sit here and get out my currency converter. But thank you for that, Dark Ethan. Cool. Okay, so here's the deal, right? I haven't heard from this guy directly. All I've had is these two responses of random pictures and shit. And I want to say it was like 3 or 4 days ago. I DM'd him one last time, and I made it clear this was the last time I was going to DM him. I was like, so this is your last chance, all right? At this point, I don't know why you won't even just respond and say no, but all I'm saying is this could be an opportunity for us to finally hash it out, whether it's the last time we talk or whatever, who cares? But this way we have a conversation about it rather than it just being bad blood. It could go very much like the Keemstar interview did. Or it might not. I don't know. But I have no intention of having you on my show and treating you like dirt or whatever. I want to have a real conversation with you about everything and what the hell has really been going on all this time. So, I think you should take the opportunity because right now, I hate to say it, it's sad what's happening with you and your business and stuff like that. And that was it. So that was like 3 or 4 days ago. All right. Did I get a response? No, he didn't respond. Okay. So I'm done with the guy at this point, right? I'm like, I gave him a chance. It's been over a month. I've been asking him to be on my show. He will not respond. He sends me stupid pictures instead. He's probably high off his ass. I'm done with this guy, right? So there you go. So all of a sudden, last night, some people start reaching out to me. Are you aware that Rich tweeted you? No, I'm not aware because he's muted. Like, he's muted in my timeline because if I have him unmuted, he'll tweet dumb shit, and then a million idiots will also retweet or do, and it just floods my timeline with nonsense. So he's not banned or blocked, but he is muted, so I don't have to see his dumb shit when he does tweet stuff, right? So apparently he tweets me. All right, we're gonna take a look at this together. This is what he tweets last night. You ready for this? Let's see if we can pick this and decipher what we're looking at here. This was on my day off, by the way, so that's why I wasn't actively checking Twitter. I didn't know that he had done this. Someone had to tell me, right? So here's what he says. Hey, they call me DSP. I'm down to do that interview this upcoming week. Let's go. And he tweets, Batman versus the Diddler. Diddle me this Batman, and it's P. Diddy with 2 things of baby oil in his hands, running around, and Batman is appalled. Okay? So, for the record, this is a meme that's been on the internet for a few days, ever since P. Diddy got arrested, and apparently is being indicted on all kinds of, like, sex trafficking charges and all kinds of crazy shit. You know, I'm not exactly sure what is going on with the situation. I don't follow that shit. So, I'm reading it. First of all, what does this have to do with this? Do either of us have any involvement with sex trafficking rings? And have any of us been arrested by the FBI? No, not to maybe on his end, at least not on my end. On my end, you know, things are pretty squeaky clean over here. There's nothing going on like that. But I don't know what's going on his end. Maybe this is him coming clean. I don't know. I really have no idea. All right, but it's very confusing. You know, why he would, like, what does this have to do with this? I have no idea whatsoever what this means. But I can tell you right now, all right, immediately, for me, I like, why is he doing it like this? Like, I'm not going to show you our DMs, right? But literally, I've been DMing this guy on and off, like maybe like once a week, once every other week for the past month and a half, you know, and he's just not been responsive. He's ignored me, or the few times he's responded, he put up a random picture that's nothing to do with anything. See what I'm saying? Like, so what the hell? Why would you, if he was actually, first of all, if he was serious about this and he actually does want to do an interview with me, right? Why would he publicly post it like this instead of responding to the DMs that are already open where I've talked to him about this and he ignored me? So that's number one, makes no sense whatsoever why he would do it like this, right? Number two, what is this supposed to mean? Is this insinuating something? I really have no idea. It doesn't even make sense to post something like this because now, of course, everyone's wondering what the fuck he's talking about. It has nothing to do with me. That's for sure, right? It's like, what are you talking about? Here's the other thing too, right? I'm down to do that interview this upcoming week. Let's go. Who said that I wanted to interview this week? Do you know my schedule? As I've already said, this week is a weird week for me. I have a 4-day streaming week that's really short, where I have to do a lot of content in a short period of time, and I don't even know what my next week's streaming schedule is. I'm currently working on getting 2 different guests on the show, and they may be in the first half of October. So if that's the case, what makes you think that now, because you decided to respond, that now I drop everything that I'm working on for you to be on the show? Like, who made you the king of the universe that you're more important, right? Like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, even if he wants to be on the show, he's not going to be on the show this week. I had no plans on doing an interview this week. I just did one last week, and I told you guys I don't want to do an interview every week. I feel like that's taking up too much of my time when I should be making progress in games and the like. So why am I going to have him on the show this week? And the answer is I'm not. Like, even if we agree to it, he's not coming on this week. That's just not happening, okay? But it's this simple, all right? You have to contact me via DMs so we can talk it out, figure out how we're going to do it, what the schedule is, all of that. It's not going to be you yelling out to the void of Twitter, hey, I want to do something. No one cares. You might as well, you see the wall that's next to you in your house right now, Rich? You can yell at that fucking wall too, and that's going to give you more of a response than me. Do you remember when Keemstar just started yelling shit out on his Twitter account? And how effective that was? It wasn't effective at all, was it? What you need to do is be a professional for once in your life. Contact me behind the scenes, just like I've been sending you these DMs, and just respond and talk about it, okay? It's that simple, okay? So it's that simple, right? So I don't even know what else, he's getting at here, right? This has nothing to do with me at all. This is P. Diddy, sex trafficking, and pretty much underhanded sex things in the rap community. It has nothing to do with me at all, right? So I don't know. And again, until he actually maybe stops being high, because I did respond to this, by the way. I don't know if it does. So I said, "Are you high again, Rich? You should respond to the DM instead of yelling to the public, because that's what someone with brain cells remaining would do." Exactly right. I feel like this is his brain has been addled so badly by those edibles he's eating that for some odd reason now it's dawned on him that it's a good idea to do the interview with me. I can't imagine why he would think that after, the best time to do it would have been right after I reacted to his documentary, right? It would have been right on his heels, and people would have cared. At this point, I'll be honest, I mean, there's some people who care, but not that many anymore. He waited too long, right? You got to strike when the iron is hot. The iron's not hot anymore. No one's talking about Rich. He's an afterthought. He's forgotten to the internet. The only people who watch him are people who are laughing at him as a joke. Nobody cares. For him to be on my show, right? I mean, it could go different ways. It could be, it's a completely cordial conversation, and we actually talk about things going on in each other's lives, and we find out what's actually going on with him and maybe the reason why he's basically been so bad to me over the years. And we can actually hash it out like men. And we can have an ending where it's like, well, listen, I don't like you, but I guess we can stop being at each other's throats from now on, right? Now, that's a lot of stuff coming out of Rich, because Rich is the kind of guy that he says one thing and then he stabs you behind the back, right? I've told you, I reached out to this guy, all right? When it became public knowledge on the internet that his daughter was very ill, I reached out to him despite all the nasty things he said about me, and I let him know that I felt very bad about what's going on, and I wished him the best, right? And then later that day, he goes on the internet and he shitposts me on his Twitter account. As it, he thanked me for the message, and then he went and crapped on me. Then later on, it's revealed, oh, well, Phil only did that because he's trying to look good and stuff. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, sometimes I genuinely feel bad for people. When Boogie announced his cancer, I also DM'd him to wish him the best. Right? Like, when these things happen, sometimes you reach out, you say, listen, I just wish you the best. It's really sad that this is happening, and the world has your back when these awful things happen. Hopefully things get better for you. No, to him, everything's a hidden agenda. Everything's like some fucking weird thing to spin for a positive way. No, Rich, that's probably what you would do. You understand? That's what a snake does. I'm not a snake. I don't care. Do you think I care about my fucking public image? No one likes me anyway. Right? So what are you talking about? It was a private message to you to wish you the best, and then you crapped on me the same day. That's not something that a fucking nice person does. You're not a nice person. And I think that's the point, is that if he comes to this interview with me, he's got some explaining to do of why he's behaved in such a heinous way over the years to me. Why is it that he feels that the only way he can make a paycheck is to rag on Darkside Phil? Because that's all it is at this point. It's like, oh, how do I get a rise out of the internet, these shitbags on the internet, and get people to watch my content today? Oh, let's do a crap on Darkside Phil stream, right? And he does it, and then the same morons show up and fucking support his shitbaggery. And, but that's it. Like, no one cares about his actual opinions about anything anymore. No one's watching his content positively. They're only there for a-logging of people, and notably him, right? So, that's what I think the purpose would be. Let's hash it out, and at least at the end of the day, we can say we had the conversation and we move on, whether it's meaningful or not, whether there's a resolution or not, right? But I don't think he's willing to do that. I think what'll happen is he'll come on, and no matter what he says in the interview won't matter, because immediately after this interview ends, he's just going to go on doing whatever he wants to do, and no matter how harmful it is. He just doesn't seem to have a conscience. He's a man without a fucking conscience. That's all I can really say. Like, that seems to be how this guy operates, right? So, anyway. So here's where I'm leaving it. It's this simple. If he DMs me and we talk about it like professionals behind the scenes, and we arrange it for sometime this month, then I'll interview Review Tech, right? If he continues to yell into the void of Twitter and thinking that having a little attention-seeking screaming to the public is going to do anything, he's sorely mistaken. I'm not going to give a shit that he publicly tweets on his timeline 400 times that he wants to be on my show. He'll never be on the show. He has to be a normal human being and act like one, and then I'll treat him like one. All right? So we'll see what happens if he's up to the challenge of acting normal but it would mean that he has to stop eating edibles for about, maybe 5 minutes one day so that he could actually like consciously formulate sentences and type them out in a DM to me that makes sense, right? I mean, it's going to be tough, I feel, but we'll have to see what happens, all right? And the thing is, I had absolutely no intention about talking about this man at all. Understand? I had none. This was not my intention. He's the one who tweeted this to cause this situation. I didn't care. I was done. I told him, I'm done with you. I gave you your chance. You weren't interested. Fine. I get the message. Move on. And now here he is, doing this stunt, right? So, all right. So anyway, just to kind of bookend this, I am working on getting a couple different guests. I have two people. I know it's it. I have two people who I'm very interested in having on the show this month. One is a person that's really hard to keep in contact with. Like, I talk to this person and we have a little back and forth, and then I can't reach them for another 2 weeks. And then I get them again and we have a back and forth and it sounds promising. And then I can't get them for another 2 weeks. I'm like, driving me nuts, because this is an interview I'd really like to do. And I feel like this would be interesting content. It would be meaningful content for the channel. All right. I got another interview also that's likely going to happen sometime this month. I haven't 100% locked it in yet. So I don't want to, you know me. I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. I want to lock everything in before I'm telling you guys about these particular guests and appearances, right? So I will let you know. And then, of course, as I already told you, both Wings of Redemption and Boogie are interested on coming on the show, but they're currently on their camping trip for the Lolcow live show. So when they're back from that, then we're going to regroup, and I'm going to talk with those guys about possibly appearing sometime this month. I don't know if I'll be able to get them, either one of them or both, or, I don't know, by the end of the month, but that's going to be like next. Okay. So we'll see. Okay. We shall see what's happening with all of this. But the thing is, remember, I have to balance these appearances with other content. I can't have an entire week of I'm on a show, someone's on my show, I'm on a show, someone's on my show. Now I've done no podcasts and all of my gameplay has suffered, right? Can't do that, especially now during the most busy game of the year, or busy time of the games of the year. I need to be focusing on playing games, finishing games, and having, progress. So let's see. Oh man, excuse me. Let's see how it goes, and go from there. And again, I don't know if anything's gonna happen with this review tech thing. Quite frankly, I was already done with it, right? I really was. I was already done with it. And then he like comes out of his cave to tweet something stupid. And I'm like, well, all right. But anyway, that's the deal. What's going on with that? All right, cool. All right. I have a $1 tip to shout out. Take a look.